Hello, beautiful people. Hope everybody's had a great week. I want to start off by saying thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for paying attention, listening, watching, the feedback. You guys are really awesome. I appreciate it very much. So let's get down to business. As most of you know, I don't have to. This isn't breaking news or anything, but times are tough right now. Things are really difficult for a lot of people, especially when it comes to the economy. A lot of times when the economy is good, people take it for granted. We forget that when it is bad, it gets real bad, and it gets bad for a lot of people. And that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. It's been rough for the past couple of years, and it looks like it's not going to get better really anytime soon. So I just kind of wanted to touch base on some issues and some things going on, and hopefully give you some hope that things are going to get better. But one thing I'll say is, like I said, I've had a lot of people reach out to me recently. I've had a lot of people reach out in the past, 6 months or year or so, and I've had more people reach out to me looking for needing some kind of help more in the past year or so than I have in the past 10 or 15 years. And I don't know if that's directly related to the economy, or that I'm just more accessible now, or what the case is, but I know at least in some way and in part it's got a lot to do with the way the economy is right now. Just in the past few years, the cost to just getting by is astronomical for most people. The cost of housing is up. House payments are up, rent is up, property taxes are up. Property value being up is a good thing, but for some reason people hate it when their property value goes up, because that means their property taxes go up. So we like the good side of it, that whenever we sell our house that we get more money for it, but we hate the fact that in that process the property taxes are higher. But property taxes are higher. Insurance rates have jumped a lot, so you obviously know that if you've got homeowners insurance or car insurance, those rates are way up, and they're going to continue to climb. Interest rates are way up, so the cost to borrow money is higher than it was. It's not historically high, but it's higher than it was a couple of years ago. Cost of groceries, cost of food, just to feed your family, feed yourself, that cost is way up. I mean, I just a week and a half ago or so, I went to get a steak and from the grocery store, and the cost of the steak at the grocery store was actually higher than me going to like a steakhouse and getting a steak. So I put the steak back on the shelf, and I went and just went and had a dinner that was somebody prepared for me, instead of me buying the steak for more than what I can get it for at a restaurant. So the cost of food is outrageous. Just the cost of living in general is really high right now. And one thing I want to point out about that, and if I've said it, like I said, I've had a lot of people reach out to me. People I talk to have reached out to me and just kind of let me know how difficult of a time they're having, either personally or financially. And if I've said it once in the past 6 months, I've said it 10 times. And it's not my saying, it's just something that I say because it stuck. But tough times don't last, and tough people do. So as difficult as things are right now, and as hard as things are right now, this difficult time will not be forever. We as a people, we as a nation, we as humans have been through much more difficult times than what we're dealing with right now. And what we're seeing isn't going to last. And the people with endurance, and the people with a mindset of that, we're going to overcome this, we're going to beat this, and collectively we're going to come out the other side better. Those people are going to fare way better and come out on the other side way better than the people that are stuck on the details of it costs more. Like, yes, we understand it costs more. Everything costs more. Things are not going to cost the same forever. A gallon of milk in 1970 is not going to be the same price in 2024. Well, nothing's going to be the same price. So things are going to increase in cost over time. And unfortunately, this past couple of years, things have spiked, 20, 30, 40, 50%, sometimes more. So it's really uncomfortable right now, especially if you haven't seen an increase in your income. And that's just something I want to, go back to is, your income is your responsibility, and it's up to you to make more money. Your employer, your boss, your company, it's not their job to care for you. I know that's cold, and I know that's probably not the advice you want to hear. You want a company to care for you. You want a business to care for you. But the reality is that that business's responsibility is to itself. That business's responsibility is to stay in business. You see this a lot right now with these large corporations as their sales drop and the cost of doing business increases, they're laying people off because their core responsibility is to the entity and to the business and to be in business. If they retain employees and the business goes bankrupt and everybody loses their job, that's not good because now nobody's got a job. So they may be laying people off to lower the cost of doing business to survive a difficult time. So you're seeing this more and more where these larger corporations are laying people off to weather the storm. And again, how severe the storm is relative to your circumstances. How long the storm's going to last, nobody really knows. But it is a difficult time, and it will not last. And tough people survive, and tough times will not survive. So keep your head up. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know if it's something personal. I don't know if it's something financial. But I promise you, whatever you're going through, whatever difficulty you're facing right now, you will overcome this. And I had a conversation with a friend this week, and she's made some changes in her life in the past year or so. Some things changed on her drastically that she wasn't expecting, and she's in a situation now where she's happy, she's content, her life's coming together, and I'm happy for her. And I let her know that I'm happy for her because not of just what she's recently overcome, but what she's overcome in her lifetime. And that's something that we lose sight of, is that when difficult times happen, we get hyper focused on that difficult time that's right in front of us, and we start to sort of struggle or wrestle with whatever difficulty or challenges we're faced with. And it can be overwhelming, especially when it becomes financial, because it feels like you're constantly drowning, you're constantly behind. You're underwater all the time. You come up for air and then you're back underwater. And we forget in those times to be calm and to be patient, because we forget all the times in the past where we did overcome similar or more extreme or more difficult circumstances, So whatever you're dealing with now, just, take a deep breath, relax, and think back to other times where you were faced with something difficult, faced with difficult times, difficult situation, difficult relationship, difficult professional time, economic time. And I promise you, no matter how difficult this feels in the moment, you have for sure overcome far more difficult circumstances and far more difficult situations, and you will overcome this. And all those difficulties that you've overcome in the past have made you stronger and more durable and more capable of solving this problem, dealing with this difficulty, and overcoming this situation. So remember, tough times don't last, tough people do. You're tougher, you're way tougher than you think you are. You're way more equipped than you think you are to get through this and to solve these problems. No, it's not going to be easy, but I think I've said before, you probably heard this before, when I pray or when you pray, a lot of people will pray for things to get easier. God, remove this obstacle from my path, or make this easier, or make this challenge go away. And me personally, I no longer pray for those things. I no longer pray for these obstacles to be removed from my path. I no longer pray for it to be easier. I pray to be made stronger. I pray to be more equipped. I pray to be more calm and patient and well adapted to fight the fight. Like I don't want the battle to get easier. I want to win the battle at whatever level that battle is to be fought. So I want to be ready at all times, and when I'm not ready and I get caught off guard, I don't pray for it to go away. I pray for quick preparation. Like, hey, what do I need to know to get through this? What do I need to do to get through this? What do I need to do to win? And that's really the way I think about it and I approach it, and I hope in a sense that that's what you do also, because praying for it to get easier, or wishing for it to get easier, or hoping for it to get easier, to me is a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. And it's pretty much just a pity party. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, it's difficult, but it's not exclusively difficult to you. It's difficult to everybody. And as you learn to fight these fights and win these battles, one thing that'll come along in that process is you will be equipped to help other people get through those battles, because you've done this before, you've seen this before, you know what to do, you know how to handle yourself, and you'll be able to help other people. And that can be physically or financially. So for example, I'm reading a book right now. I like it a lot. I just got started on it, but it uses a good example of knowing how to swim. Whatever you're going through, if you don't know how to swim, you can't rescue anybody else that's in the water, right? Like, there's just nothing you can do. If you can't swim, you can't jump in a pool or in a lake or in a body of water and rescue or save anybody. You must first learn how to swim. And that's a very valuable lesson, because whatever circumstances and whatever you're dealing with right now, you can't reach out and rescue anybody. You can't reach out and help somebody unless you're equipped yourself. And that could be, like I said, that could be physically, that could be mentally, that could be emotionally, financially. There's lots of ways you can help other people, but you must be equipped first. You must know how to swim before you can help other people swim or teach other people how to swim. So those of you that are equipped, those of you that are prepared, I encourage you to reach out and help those that do need help, because it is a difficult time. And when I say help, then that can come in lots of different ways. We aren't able to physically help every single person financially that we want to. It's just an impossibility. Like I said, we have to at some point stay secure in our business before we can't go out of business helping people, is really what it boils down to. And I don't know a nicer way to say it other than that, because it sounds kind of cold, but I wish we could help as many people as I wish we could help more people. We help as many as we can, but I wish we could help more, and I wish we could do more. But I can't put our company or our business in jeopardy to help people. Like we have to make sure that we're in survival mode just like everybody else, and we have to navigate this difficult time just like everybody else. And while we're navigating this difficult time, we're throwing out as many lifeboats as we possibly can. We're picking up as many people as we can. We're teaching as many people as we can how to swim. But we're not going to be able to rescue everybody. We can't save everybody. Some people are going to have to go through this time, and by the time it's over, people that didn't know how to swim are going to know how to swim by the end of this. I promise you, because again, I don't know what the end is, or if there's an end, or if this is the new normal. I don't know what situation we're in, and I'm very skeptical of people that try to predict the future on things like this, because I don't think really anybody knows for sure. And whoever does know for sure is usually not the person that's on the news or in the media with the prediction. A lot of the people on the news and in the media giving predictions, they're almost always dead wrong when it comes to stuff like this. Their predictions could not be more wrong. They always are like 180 degrees away from the truth. Their timelines are always incorrect. Their predictions are always incorrect. But somehow they're on television. So I'm not saying that you should go to TV or go to social media and start looking for the answer, because it's probably not on there. But you need to equip yourself in whatever way you see fit, to take care of your friends, take care of your family, take care of yourself, because this storm, like I said, I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know how severe it is where you are or what you're going through. But this is a time where people are going to learn how to swim. So I know things are difficult, but keep your head up. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. You'll get through this. Remember, just think back to other times where you've overcome far more difficult things. And this may seem intense right now. This may seem difficult right now. But I promise you, what you've overcome in the past is far more difficult and far more challenging than what we're dealing with right now. And we will come through on the other side. And part of that is we don't know how difficult or how dark this situation is going to get. And I had a friend reach out to me recently, because I have, personally, I've been buried in a lot. When you run small businesses, not only are you trying to protect your business, but you're also trying to protect the people that work with you and work for you. It's very important to me, and I understand as a business owner that when somebody comes to work here, they're now my responsibility, and it's not just that person, it's their responsibilities as well. So their job, their profession, their skill set, their education, their family, those things all become now my responsibility. So when things are going nasty or things are going ugly or the economy's not good, there's a lot of extra stress that comes along with that for me. So I have a friend, and he reached out to me a couple weeks ago because he knew I was kind of in the weeds and feeling down, and he let me know something that's really important. And he said that, remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. It's always going to be the most difficult before it gets better. It's always going to seem the most impossible. It's going to seem the most bleak. It's going to seem the most difficult. It's going to seem never ending before the dawn. And it will be very, 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 very dark before we see daylight. And again, I don't know where we are in the cycle. I don't know how far we are into darkness, but it will get very, 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 very dark before we see daylight. And he also reminded me that winter always comes before spring, and that is very true. And that is a cycle that we all deal with every single day, every single month, every single year. We understand the seasons, and this particular season is a winter season for everybody. Nobody's having a good time. Nobody's having fun. Nobody's enjoying themselves. and I'm using that, as an example as far as the economy goes. I know people are still living their lives, people are still having fun, people are still going to concerts, enjoying themselves, spending time with friends and family. So I'm not saying that nobody's enjoying themselves. I'm just saying whenever there are difficult financial times, everybody feels that impact and nobody's enjoying it. I promise you, nobody's enjoying paying 50% more, 25% more for insurance. Nobody's enjoying paying 25 or 30% more for groceries. Nobody's enjoying paying, 10, 12, 15% more on their property taxes or even more. Nobody's enjoying the cost of vehicles right now. Nobody's enjoying the cost of interest. Nobody's enjoying the cost of auto repair. Like, nobody's enjoying this. So it's difficult for everybody. We got to stick together. Remember, it's the darkest before the dawn, and winter always comes before spring. So no matter what you're going through right now, no matter how difficult it is, if it's personal, if it's financial, if it's professional, just remember, this situation will not last. This season will be over, and it will be spring soon. It will be daylight soon, and tough times will not last forever. So keep your head up, keep fighting, keep learning, keep swimming. If you're drowning, keep paddling. You will figure it out, I promise you. I'm a jackwagon, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't know how to do. There's a lot of swimming I'm still learning how to do. But if I can figure it out and I'm a dummy, then I know you can figure it out too. So keep your head up, keep fighting. Don't let it get you down. You can do this. I believe in you. Just be strong, keep your head up, stay focused, and just try to do your very best to see the situation from like a 30,000 feet, from a bird's eye view, from a plane view. See things from an aerial view where you see the whole picture, you see the bigger picture, and realize that these are just circumstances. These don't last. They will not last forever. And there is an ending soon. This season will be over soon. We will see daylight. So don't get too down. Don't get too discouraged. Don't get depressed. It's going to be all right. I promise you, no matter how bleak things look now, daylight will come. So keep your head up. We're in this together. We're going to get through it. We're going to be better for it. We're going to be better equipped for the next fight, the next battle. So just be positive. Stick together, and we'll get through this. I promise you. And the next thing I have on my notes is even with all that being said, I have a note here that says money won't solve all your problems. It just can't. It won't. Money will not solve all your problems. But the financial situation that you're dealing with, like I was saying, if it constantly feels like you're drowning and you're every now and then you get a gasp of air, and then it feels like you're underwater again. The only thing that money will do in that situation is it will keep you from being in a drowning situation where you're constantly in survival mode, and it gives you the time to breathe and think without having to constantly worry about a bill, about rent, about insurance, about, if you're constantly worried about money all the time, you can't focus your energy and your time and your efforts on things that aren't related to money. So having money isn't going to solve your problems, but if money is your problem, then it removes your capability or your ability to solve other problems, because your primary problem is money, is your finances. So if you're spending 90% of your free time concerned about your finances, then you can't go fight another fight. You can't win another battle because you're constantly underwater with your finances, and it's consuming all of your time. So I'm not saying having money is going to solve all your problems, but getting your finances in order and getting your budget in order, getting yourself beyond the point of being, strapped in ridiculous amounts of debt, can at least free up your mind to think about things that aren't money related, to solve bigger problems and get more involved in things that do not revolve around survival. So part of the notes that I wrote is, I was thinking the other day about cash and how useless, and I say useless, probably not the right word, but how our cash has been devalued so much in the past couple years. So this is my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take any financial advice from me. This is not recommended advice or anything like that. But to me, inflation is kind of a lie. It's not really, to me, it's not inflation. To me, what it is devaluation of the dollar. So I don't think they're ever gonna say it that way. I think, inflation's a real nice euphemism to really say that your dollar is losing value. There's a train coming, so we'll hold on a second and I'll crop the video. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly where I left off, but Like I said, inflation is just a really nice, soft, gentle way. It's a euphemism for saying your dollar is losing value. So as the dollar gets devalued, if they would say it like that, it would help people understand. And again, I'm not trying to mansplain this to anybody. Like, this is common sense for most people. Like, I'm not reinventing the wheel here when it comes to money. But what I'm saying is that, to me, if we look at it not like it's inflation, like something's just happening in La La Land, or something's not happening in another realm that's affecting us, that we look at it like a problem that we can handle and a problem that we can solve. And if we realize that our value, the dollar is getting devalued in a way that, the best way I can explain it, the best way I can understand it, so it's probably not the best way to explain it, but it's the best way I can understand it, is the devaluation of the dollar is, let's just say, for example, I was born in 1981. So let's just say in 1981, I went and I bought, I had $2,000, okay? And I took $1,000 and $1,000 in cash, and I put it in a safe. And then I took $1,000 and I bought, let's just say, gold with it. I bought $1,000 worth of gold, how much ever gold was worth back in 1981. And I put that gold in the safe. So fast forward to 2024, I'm 42, I'll be 43 this year. And then I decide, hey, you know what? I forgot I had some money in my safe. Times are hard, times are difficult. I'm gonna go crack into my safe and I'm gonna go get this money that I need to get by, or to use this money. And if I go open up that safe and I take out $1,000 and I take out what was $1,000 worth of gold in 1981, which of these two items is worth more today? Well, 100% for a fact, there is no doubt the $1,000 worth of gold that was bought in 1981 would be worth way more money today in 2024 than $1,000 in cash. And the media and television and all these things will convince you that it's because of inflation. And that's not necessarily so. It's because the devaluation, the devaluing process of the dollar. But if I would have invested all of my money back in 1981 in gold, that gold is now worth more money. Gold has more value now than it did in 1981. Well, cash, money, paper money has less value now than it did in 1981. So if you are somehow, some way, if you are cash rich, and there are times when having cash in your portfolio is a really great thing, and there's a lot of big companies right now that have a lot of cash in their portfolio. I think they're probably waiting for something to crash or waiting for something to dump, so they can go use all that money to buy up assets. Chances are you're probably not in that situation. You're probably not so cash heavy where you just have money sitting up somewhere waiting to go into something. You probably have a small amount of cash that you need to do something with that money sooner rather than later, because you do not want to wait until the value of the dollar continues to decrease and then figure out later, oh, I need to buy gold now. Because, for example, if I take that same $1,000 today, let's say I didn't spend that $1,000 in 1981 on gold, and I take it out of the safe today and I go buy gold with it, I'm going to get a lot less gold today than I would have if I would have bought gold in 1981. So if you are cash rich right now, if you have savings somewhere, savings is not a bad thing. You need to use that cash, especially if it's cash that you have saved for a rainy day. You don't need to go buy a hard asset that's going to be hard to liquidate. You can buy gold, you can buy silver. There's things you can buy with your cash to keep it from losing value over time. Even if whatever you buy maintains its value, it's better to buy something that's going to maintain its value than to hold on to your cash, because that cash is going to lose value. Your money, just in the past couple of years, has lost at least 20% of its value. So if you had $100 5 years ago, it's pretty much worth $80 now, because the cost of goods, if it was $100 a few years ago, that same good or goods is $120 or more now. So if you saved $100 5 years ago to spend today, that $100 doesn't go anywhere, doesn't go near as far, because the cost of goods are up, which is not really the case, because a gallon of milk now and a gallon of milk 40 years ago is still a gallon of milk. The value of a gallon of milk hasn't changed. The reason why it takes more dollars to buy that milk is because the value of the dollar has decreased so much. So, running out of time here. Man, I talk too long, talk too much. I talk too fast, too much. I'm the mouth of the South over here. But anyway, if you are cash rich, if you have cash somewhere, use that cash wisely, because if you're just holding on to it, if it's just under a mattress somewhere, if you're just stacking it, again, I'm not saying saving money is a bad thing. Saving money is way better than going into debt. Saving money is way better than paying interest to a credit card. Saving money is way better than paying interest on a car payment or whatever the case is. Saving money is a good idea. Having cash is better than not having cash. Having savings is better than not having savings. But if you are looking to go from where you are to the next level, then you need to use that cash wisely, not store it, not let it devalue. If I put, let's say I put $100 or I put $1,000 into the stock market, and every single week and every single month that loses value 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%, and it just continues to lose value, I would be a jackwagon to leave my money in there, because it's just going to continue to lose value. And I would sell that asset because it's losing money, and I would take that money out, even though I lost that money, and invest it in something that's going to gain value or maintain its value. And that's how you have to look at your cash, and that's how you have to look at your savings. An example of that is, recently I have a financial advisor. He's a really smart guy, and he teaches me a lot, and I'm learning a lot from him. But one thing he taught me is, because I have a checking account, so as I get my direct deposit, I put my money in my checking account, and then I pay my bills, whatever, right? I was using a high interest, high yield checking account, and I forget what the percentage was. It wasn't that. What I thought was great, because usually when you're putting your money in your savings account or your checking account at 0%, so whenever a bank offers you 0.75% or 1% or whatever the annualized percentage rate is, let's say it's 1%, you're thinking, hey, great, I'm getting 1% on my money, where before I was getting 0. So hey, I'm making money. Well, what I didn't realize is there's much better options out there, and he helped me go from a 1% checking account to a 4.5, 4.75% money market account. So just by moving my money from A to B, I went from 1% to 4.75%. That at least keeps my money from losing value. So even though I may not be getting rich off of that, I'm not getting, I don't have enough money in there for that money to get big interest payments every month, but that money's not losing value. The little bit of interest that I'm getting paid is really just a recouping the money that the value that my money lost during that time, because it's cash. That cash can't maintain its value over time. It's impossible. Cash will never hold its value over time. Things will cost more in the future than they cost today. So anyway, running out of time. Y'all be smart with your money. I got more notes I didn't get to. But anyway, you guys be smart with your money. Remember, tough times don't last. Tough people do. It's always darkest before the dawn. Winter always comes before spring. Things will get better. I promise you. We're all in the same storm. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's hard. And we're going to get through it together. And we'll all be better for it. We'll all be stronger for it. We'll all be better equipped for the future. And don't forget to think back to your past of all the things you've overcome. Life is hard. Life is difficult. We've all gone through hard times. We've all gone through difficult times. And if you just look back and think about all the things you've been through and all the challenges you've faced and all the things you've overcome to get where you are today, I promise you, it's nothing short of a miracle that you're here today fighting the fight. So don't let whatever's going on today get you down. Don't let this fight get you down. And don't pray for it to get easier. Don't pray for it to go away. Pray to be stronger. Pray to be tougher. Pray for the tools. Pray for the equipment. Pray for the lessons, and be paying attention to those signs, because I promise you they're out there. I promise you they're coming, and you'll win. You'll win, and I want to win. So we're gonna win together. I promise you. So y'all take care. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.